Year 6 and welcome to another maths lesson. Today we're going to be continuing our learning using metric units of measurement. We're going to be solidifying what we learnt yesterday, having further practice and also putting it into a variety of different reasoning contexts. I'm going to share my screen with you now, but whilst I'm doing that, please can you make sure you have paper, pencil and coloured pens. Okay, the first thing that you're going to do, as usual, is you're going to start with your morning arithmetic questions. Remember, there's no worksheet for today's maths lesson. All of the questions are embedded within the video. So you need to pause the video now and try these 6 questions. Pause it now, please. Okay, if you haven't completed those 6 questions, please can you go back and pause the video because I'm about to start going through the answers. Okay, question 1, we're timesing by 100. Our answer will be 4,560. When you times by 10 and then times by 10 again, that's the same as timesing by 100, so you'd have 5,210. 1 1/4 divided by 5. I'm going to do KFC, so I'm going to keep 1 1/4. I'm going to flip 5 over 1. I can see. This is why I talk through it, because sometimes I make silly mistakes. 5 over 1 is going to turn into 1 over 5. Okay, and now I'm going to convert 1 1/4 into 5 quarters, times it by 1/5, which would give me 5 over 20. Okay, that could also be simplified to 1/4 if you wanted to. 928 multiplied by 43 would give you 39,904. 75% of 400. Loads of different ways you could have done this. You could have chunked it. You could have used the timesing method. Or perhaps you realised that 75% is the same as 3/4 and you simply found 3/4 of 400. And finally, 800 subtract something is equal to 4. I need to do 800 take away 4, which will be 796. Okay, now I'd like you to have a go at your reasoning. I've put slightly fewer reasoning questions here because I want you to make sure you are doing the conversions. It's essential that you convert. And remember, it's always better to convert things into a decimal or a percentage than a fraction, because fractions might have different denominators. I'm going to show you what I would do for the first question, and then you're going to finish it and do the rest of them. 1/4. I'm going to convert that to a decimal because I can see that's a decimal and decimal is preferable to fraction. 1/4 is 0.25. Now I need to convert this one into a decimal and then I need to use my greater than, less than or equal to symbols. Please can you pause the video now, and on your piece of paper you're going to answer those 5 reasoning questions. Please make sure you're pausing the video, converting and answering the questions. Okay, if you haven't finished answering these questions, it's really important that you have a go before you watch me go through the answers. So please pause the video and have a go by yourself. Right, for the easier conversions, I've written them in, and then the ones where I anticipate you might have struggled a bit more, I'll go through how you could have done them here. So 1/4 we said is 0.25, which is greater than 0.20, and 0.20 is greater than 0.02. Okay, 2/3 I thought you might struggle with a little bit perhaps. 1/3 we know is equal to 0.33 recurring. So 33333333333. If you know that 1/3 is 0.33, you can then also work out that 2/3 is equal to 0.66 recurring. Okay, that tells me then that 0.66 is greater than 0.60. And then finally 6%, be careful, that's not 0.6, that's 0.06. It's 6/100ths, therefore smaller than 0.6. 50% is 0.5 or 0.50, we know that one. 8/16, however, you might have struggled with a little bit more. For me, if I was doing this one, I know I need to convert it into a decimal. But before I convert it into a decimal, I need to make it a fraction I can work with. I can't convert 16ths into decimals right now. So I'm going to simplify this. I can see both sides can be divided by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 16 divided by 8 is 2. Aha, 1/2. I know 1/2 is equal to 0.50. There we go. If you didn't know how to do that one, just remember sometimes you need to divide before you can turn it into a decimal that you can work with. So 50% and 8/16 are equal, and then 0.8 is greater than 0.5. Here again, I thought you might struggle a little bit with 110%. We know 100% is equal to 1 whole. So 110%, that's 1 whole 0.10% or 1/10, 1.1, which is clearly larger than 0.10, and 0.11 is greater there. 1.3 on the left-hand side, we've got 0.13 and 0.3. I don't know why I've starred that one. We can see which are greater. Remember, that's 3/10, which is 0.30. Okay, well done if you got those ones, especially well done to those of you who got the ones that were a little bit trickier, like 8/16 or 2/3. Right, can I ask you please now to write the date and WALT? Pause the video for as long as it takes you to write today's date and WALT, and can you also make sure you've got a coloured pen ready to mark? It's really important that you're answering the questions when I ask you to, pausing the video when I ask you to, and marking your work as we're going through it. Okay. Before we start today's lesson, I think it would be really helpful for you to have these different conversions written at the top of your piece of paper. So what I'm going to ask you to do is pause the video and tell me how many grams in 1 kilogram, how many millilitres in a litre, how many metres in a kilometre. And then remember, these ones were the exceptions to the rule, how many centimetres in a metre and how many millimetres in 1 centimetre. Write that at the top. If you've got coloured pens, you can do it in coloured pens to really make it stand out, but you should have somewhere all of these conversions to be sure. I'll go through them in a moment, so please make sure you've paused the video and answered those questions. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. If you didn't write 1,000, change it now, please. 1 litre is 1,000 millilitres, and 1 kilometre is 1,000 metres. Remember I said when we're looking at metric unit of measurements, most of them are 1,000. The only ones you need to remember are the ones that you might have on your ruler anyway. There are 100 centimetres in a metre and 10 millimetres in a centimetre. Please make sure you've got these facts written on your piece of paper to help you with your learning. You might also want to make sure you've got this conversion chart written down that we did yesterday. We've written it out yesterday, so hopefully you've still got that piece of paper, but if you feel like it would help you to write it out again, please pause the video and do that. Before we move on to any new learning, we're going to continue cementing what we did yesterday, because this is actually really tricky for many children, and some people really struggled with their work yesterday. So let's just remind ourselves of the steps. We are converting from centimetres, because I know what my centimetres are, to millimetres. That's my unknown. There are 10 millimetres in a centimetre. Therefore, we need to, and now this is the hard bit, I need to decide if I'm timesing or dividing. I'm going to millimetres, which is the small unit of measurement. And remember, it's the opposite of what you think. Small means times. We're going to times by 10. That's one way you can work out what to do. The other way is if you're really stuck, you can use that conversion chart at the top. From centimetres to millimetres. But remember, make sure you put your pencil on where you're starting and where you're ending up to make sure you've got the arrow in the right direction. We need to times by 10. 4.3 then times by 10 would be 43. 43 millimetres. We're going to do one more together. 8 kilograms, 2 grams. We are converting from kilograms to grams. There are, of course, 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So I now need to decide if I'm going to multiply or divide. So I'm going to the small unit of measurement, which means, remember, it's the opposite of what you think. I need to times. I'm timesing by 1,000. So I'm going to do 8 multiplied by 1,000 down 1, 2, 3. It will be 8,000 grams. Haven't left myself enough space there. Oops. Okay. Again, we're converting from litres to millilitres. There are 1,000 millilitres in a litre. We're going to the small unit of measurement, so we need to times by 1,000. Again, if you're struggling with that one, what do we know? We know the litres, so we're starting on litres, we're going to millilitres. That tells me I times by 1,000. 4.3 multiplied by 1,000, down 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm sure there are some of you out there watching this video thinking, oh, I already know how to do this. And that's fantastic. I'm pleased you already know how to do it. But it's important to practice these skills because they're an integral part of so many different questions you might encompass or experience in a maths question or a maths test, sorry. Right. This is the first question that you're going to have a go at independently. I want you to convert from 4.3 meters to centimeters. It's up to you whether you use this method or this method to help you work out what to do. But please, can you pause the video now and tell me what 4.3 meters is as centimeters? Remember, this should be presented neatly on your piece of paper as it's going to be uploaded onto Seesaw, and I need to see clearly your calculations. I'm converting from meters to centimeters. I know there are 100 centimeters in a meter. I'm going to the small unit of measurement, so I times by 100. Now I do 4.3 times by 100. Down, 1, 2, 4, 3, 0. 430 centimeters. If you got that question wrong, it means you need to really carefully use one of the methods I'm showing you in order to carefully work out what you're doing. Children who struggle with this particular brand of maths tend to actually be children who are overly confident. Children who are careful and cautious tend to get it more correct. So please be the careful and cautious version of yourself, taking it nice and slowly to make sure you're getting it right. Your second question then is 0.87 kilometers is how many meters? If last time you got it wrong, use this one. If last time you used this method to work it out and you got it wrong, try using this method and vice versa. Find the way that works for you to work out how to convert these units of measurement. Pause the video and convert 0.87 kilometers into meters. Okay, this time I'm going to use this method up here. So I'm starting with kilometers, so my pen starts on kilometers and hops over to meters. That tells me I'm timesing by 1,000. So I'm going to do 0.87 multiplied by 1,000. Down, 1, 2, 3, 870. It's 870 meters. Okay, I'm actually going to change this question because as I've been going through them, I've realised I want one question that's slightly different. So you're going to do this one as, what is 490 millilitres in litres? What is 490 millilitres as litres? Remember, we're still starting with millilitres. Just because it's on the right-hand side doesn't mean that's not where we're starting. Have a go at this question, please. So I'm going to use this method again at the top because I haven't been using it as much and I want everyone to be fluent with both. I'm starting at millilitres, so I go from millilitres to litres. That tells me I'm dividing by 1,000. 490 divided by 1,000. Down, 1, 2, 3. That would be 0.49, and I don't need this one, litres. 0.49 litres. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is pause this video and try question 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 on your piece of paper. It's really important that you're using whichever method works for you, but also that you're going slowly and carefully and not rushing. For this piece of work, everyone's capable to get every single question right if you're going slowly and carefully. I'll be able to tell if you've been rushing because I won't be able to see your method and you'll have made silly mistakes. So pause the video now and try these 4 questions. Okay, I'm going to go through the answers for you. This would be equal to 4,500 centimetres. This is 8,000 metres. This would be 5.64 metres. Here I've got 5.6 litres, and here I would have 54.4 millimetres. If you made a mistake with those questions, please make sure you're using the methods that have been shown to you in order to solve these questions. The mistake that people are most likely to be making is timesing when they should divide and dividing when they should times. So make sure you're using my tips. I'm starting with meters. Put your pen on meters and then go to centimeters. I'm starting with millimeters, going to centimeters. Okay, that tells me I'm dividing. Right, we're going to move on now to some slightly trickier questions. In this question, I'm going to show you why it's trickier. I need to convert from millimeters to meters. But if you see up here on my conversion chart, I know that I have to first get to centimeters by dividing by 10. Then I will have to get from centimetres to metres by dividing by 100. If I divide something by 10 and then I divide it by 100, that's the same as dividing it by 1,000. So if I'm going 2 jumps across, I just need to work out what the total change is. From millimetres to metres, I divide by 10, then by 1,000, so I'm dividing by 1,000. 7,600 divided by 1,000. Down, 1, 2, 3, 7 goes here, 6 here, that's 7.6 metres. Here, I'm going from 4.3 kilometres to centimetres. So I'm starting with kilometres. 1 jump, that's timesing by 1,000. I'm just going to write that here so I remember. And then to centimetres again, I need to times by another 100. Okay, this time I need to work out what I've times by. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've actually times by 100,000. So I need to do 5 jumps to make it larger. I'd start with 4.3. And now I need to count carefully because it's more jumps than I would normally do. Down, 1, don't remember the down, don't count the down, remember, so it's down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I put my placeholders in and I can see that 4 kilometres is the same as 430,000 centimetres. You can see why you don't measure long distance in centimetres. Now you might also be asked a question like this. Put these units of measure in order. Remember, before you can put them in order, you need to make sure that you have converted. Whenever you have a question with different units of measurement, you can see that's kilograms and that's grams, start by converting. For me, my preference is not to have decimal numbers, so I would always convert my decimals into whole numbers where possible. 5.4 kilograms then into grams. Kilograms to grams, times by 1,000. Down, 1, 2, 3. That would be 5,400 grams. That's already in grams. This one, 4.98 kilograms into grams. Again, I'm timesing by 1,000. Down, 1, 2, 3, 4,980 grams. Now that they're all in the same unit of measure, I can convert them. But the thing that you've got to be careful of is when you're writing it, firstly, check the right order from smallest to largest, but secondly, you've got to write it in its original form. I can't write these 2 in grams, I've got to write them in their original form. Okay, so what's the smallest unit of measurement here? 5,400, 4,900, 4,980 or 4,910. First, I'd write 4,900 grams. Cross that one off. Next is 4,910, comma, 4,910 grams. Next is 4,980, but I have to write it in its original form, which was 4.98 kilograms. Then finally, I've got 5.4 kilograms. Don't forget to write it in its original form. If you write it in kilograms, that would if you write it in its converted form, you might not get the mark. Okay, it's over to you now to try some of those harder questions. You're going to do a couple, you're going to do them one by one so that you can really get to grips with how to do them. First, you're going to convert centimetres into kilometres. Have a go at this question, please. Pause the video and do it now. Make sure it's nice and neat. Okay, hopefully you found the answer to this question. If you haven't, please pause the video and at least have a go first. So I'm going from centimetres to kilometres. First, I divide by 1,000, so that's divide by 100. Then I divide by 1,000. So in total, I know that's the same as dividing by 100,000, which is 5 places smaller. So I'm going to start with 54.3 centimetres, and I'm going to make it 5 place value places smaller. Down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 here. Now I need my placeholders, 0.00054 kilometres. If you didn't get that one right, make sure you're counting up how many spaces you're going to have to move in the way that I've shown you. Okay, the next question, you're going to put these units of measure in order from smallest to largest. You can see you've got 3 different units of measure. My advice to you is convert them all to the middle one. Which is the middle measurement? Millimeters, meters, or centimeters? Well done to those of you who are going to convert into centimeters. But remember, check if you're going from smallest to largest and make sure you write them in their original form when you're finished. Pause the video and solve this question now. Okay, if you haven't finished solving this question, please have a go now before I go through the answers. I'm going to turn them all into centimeters because that will be my middle measurement in between meters, centimeters, and millimeters. So this one I leave as is. 5.5 meters. How do I turn meters to centimeters? Meters to centimeters times by 100. 5.5, 2 spaces bigger, down 1, 2. 550 centimeters. Okay, now I've got 5,400 millimeters. From millimeters to centimeters, I'm going to divide by 10. 5,400, dividing that by 10, making it one place smaller, 540 centimeters. Similarly here, I've got 30,000 millimeters. I need to divide that by 10 to making it one place smaller, 300. Sorry, I tried to save time, but it has not helped. So I'd put my 30,000 millimeters here, make it all one space smaller. That is 3,000 centimeters. Okay, I've run out of space a little bit, so I'm just going to move this stuff over here to put mine in order. Remember, I'm starting with the smallest and I've got to write it as an original form. Is that going to be 564, 550, 540, or 3,000? 540 first. In its original form, that was 5,400 millimeters. Comma, next one. I'm now going to look for 550. In its original form, that was 5.5 meters. Next, it will be 564 centimeters. And finally, this one in its original form was 30,000 millimeters. Well done if you got that in the correct order. Okay, I'm going to ask you now to pause this video and have a go at this group of slightly harder questions. For these ones, you might be doing more than one jump, and for these ones, you must convert before you put them into order. Please make sure you convert before you put them in order. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at answering those questions, please. Okay, question 11 would be 70 millilitres. Here I'm going from meters to millimeters. That means I need to times by 100 to get to centimeters and then times that by 10 again. So I'm actually timesing by 1,000. I'm going from centimeters to kilometers. Sorry, I'm going from kilometers to centimeters. I hope you didn't make the same mistake I just did. We're starting on kilometers. To get to meters, I'd times by 1,000, then to get to centimeters, times by 100. So in total, I'm timesing that by 100,000. That would give me 670,000 centimeters. Okay, to put these in order from smallest to largest, I've got to see the units of measurement: centimeters, millimeters, meters, and millimeters. Well, just like before, I'm going to convert them all into centimeters. Okay, this would be oops, no, what's happened there? I wonder what that line is. Let's see if we can get rid of it. Sorry, everybody. Thank you for bearing with me. I seem to have frozen my computer. Please wait just one moment. Oh, no. Okay, just wait one moment. I'm going to try and reopen that document. Okay, so I'm going to reopen that document. I'm really sorry. Thank you to everyone who is waiting patiently. I'm not going to start the video again because I'm about half an hour into it. I'm just going to reopen that document. Give me one moment. Okay. Just going to reshare my screen. Thank you so much for your patience, everybody. Sorry about that. Okay, hopefully you can see that. So we've got to here. This will be 566.6 centimetres. This will be 554 centimetres, and this will be 559 centimetres. So in their order, remember you need to put it in its correct, its original form. For question 14, I'd be looking for question 14, I would be looking for 5.54 metres. Then I'd be looking for 5,599, sorry, that's 0.9 millimetres. Next, you'd be looking for 5,666 millimetres. And finally, 567 centimetres. Okay, and then the final question here, put these units of measure in order from largest to smallest this time. Again, I've got kilometres, metres, millimetres and centimetres. I'd probably once again convert to centimetres. This will be 429.9 centimetres. This will be 431 centimetres. Remember to get from kilometres to centimetres. I times by 1,000 and then I times by 100. So you should have done 0.0043, 5 spaces bigger. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 there, 0 there. 430 centimetres. Okay, now I should be able to put them in order, but please be careful. You're going from largest to smallest. I worry that some of you might have accidentally gone from smallest to largest because that's what we did before. If that was you, just be careful with these questions in future. So I've got 430, 431, 429 or 433. 433 centimetres is my largest. Next, I'm going to 431, which is 4.31 metres. Next, I would be going to 430, which is 0.0043 kilometres. And finally, 4,299 millimetres. Okay, well done if you got all of those questions correct. These were a little bit trickier, so really, really good job if you were being careful and using your conversion charts. We're now going to look at a couple of questions where we've got our units of measurement in context. So for these questions, we need to combine our skills of using scales and also of conversion. I can see here, I'm trying to read this number. First, I'm going to work out what each increment is worth. In between 0 and 1 kilogram, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps. 1 divided by 4, and remember that's the same as 1/4, is equal to 0.25. So to do my kilograms, I would have to now count in 0.25s. Okay, if you didn't get this one, count with me, please, from 1, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75. 1.75 grams, and I would then convert that, kilograms, I would then convert that into grams. You're going to the smaller measurement, so you times, and there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So that's going to be 1,750 grams. Okay, let's have a look at the next one then. In between 3 and 4, I know the total is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this one, I'm doing 1 divided by 5. That's the same as 1/5, which is equal to 0.2. The scale for this question is 0.2, 3, 3.2. 3.2 kilograms. When I do 3.2 times by 1,000, down 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, placeholders in there, that would be 3,200 grams. Oops. Okay, and then finally, let's see what I'm jumping in from 0 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1/5, that's 0.2. So that's 0, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6. 0.6 kilograms. Times that by 1,000, down 1, 2, 3. Put your placeholders in and you've got 600 grams. Okay. What I'd like you to do now is have a go at these questions here. I'm just going to make them slightly bigger for you. Sorry, they were bigger on the other. Oh no, I'm going to make them slightly bigger for you so that you can see the scales properly. So first, find what it is in the unit of measurement that you've got on your jug, then convert it. You can see in this jug and this jug, you're starting in litres, but in this jug, in millilitres. Don't forget, this is also using your scale skills, so you'll need to use that too. Please pause the video and do questions 16, 17 and 18. This is independent work now, so you need to pause the video to have a go by yourself. Okay, here my increments are 0.25. So this is 1.25 litres, which is 1,250 millilitres. I'm not going to do the timesing for you because you should be comfortable with that by now. Okay, here I'm going from 0 to 200. In how many jumps? 1, 2, 3, 4. 200 divided by 4 is equal to 50. So I'm counting in jumps of 50. 800, 850 millilitres. 850 millilitres. That is equal to 0.85 litres. If you said 0.850, that's not wrong. Just remember that final 0 isn't needed. Okay, here I'm starting with litres again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting in 0.25s. 1, 1.2, 1.5, 1.75 litres. When I convert that, that will be 1,750 millilitres. Please mark those questions if you got them correct. And we're now going to have a look at a reasoning question. Samantha has 1,500 grams of strawberries. Draw an arrow on the scale to show the mass in kilograms. Use a ruler. Okay, I've seen two different units of measure and straight away I'm thinking, okay, I know what I need to do here. I need to convert. Whenever you see different units of measure, whether they're fractions, grams, kilograms, you've got decimals and percentages, you know you need to convert first. So I need 1,500 grams in kilograms. I'm going from the small to the big one. Kilograms are bigger, so I need to divide. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so I'm dividing by 1,000. I need to move where I've written kilograms then. Okay, so I'm going down. 1, 2, 3. Down, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 1.5 kilograms. In the instructions, it says use a ruler. So I'm going to make sure I'm using a ruler and I'm going to make sure I've read my scale properly. Between 0 and 1, there are 5 jumps. So each jump is worth 0.25. So 1, 1.25, 1.5. Okay, here's your reasoning question. The question says, estimate how much water there is in millilitres. Look here, that's litres. Quickly do the magic word, which is convert. Convert 1 litre into millilitres and then guess how much there is. Make it an educated guess and then tell me how much more water needs to be added. Please pause the video now and have a go at question 19, parts A and B. Okay, it does say estimate, but when you're making an estimate, it needs to be an educated guess. So what I would always do with something like this is I'd start to break it up into increments. That's 1,000 millilitres. So if I split it in half there, that would be 500 millilitres. If I split that in half again, about there, it would be 750 millilitres. That means my estimate is going to be 800 millilitres. It's a little bit more than 750, but it's not 900 and it's definitely not 1,000. I will accept for this estimate anything between 750 and 850. For the next part, your estimate will, the next part of the question will depend on what you got for the first part. If you, like me, said 800 millilitres, all you need to do now is if you're asked for how much more, that's a subtraction. Subtract 800 will give you 200. If you said it was a different number, of course, your answer will be different here. Okay, you've done really well so far. This last little question that I'm going to put on the end is a reasoning challenge. I'd like you to have a go at it, but please do not worry if you find it tricky. I'll talk you through what to do, but I'd like everyone to have a go. You're going to write the subtitle Reasoning Challenge on your piece of paper. When you're doing it, you need to read the instructions carefully. It says each number is the sum, that means it's been added, of the two numbers beneath it. Find the missing values. That tells me, for example, I know this, add this is equal to this. Okay? So if I know I add that and that together to make that, to find this missing one, I'll do the inverse, which is subtraction. Remember though, you can see you've got different units of measurement, so before you add or subtract, you've guessed it, you need to convert. Have a go at this reasoning challenge. You can do your working out wherever you need to, and underneath in the reasoning challenge, whatever number goes in this box is A, in this box is B, and this box is C. I'd recommend starting with A or C, but it's completely up to you. Have a go at this question. I know it's a little bit trickier, but everyone should have a go. Okay, I'm going to start going through this question now. Well done if you were able to solve it. Actually, in fact, I'm not going to go through this question. I'm going to ask you to upload this question without the answers. That way, I'll be able to see who has been able to do this work completely independently without any support. Okay, so you're going to have a go at this question without me going through the answers. You're going to upload them immediately onto Seesaw. Remember, you have to convert and you have to use the inverse of finding the sum in order to find the missing numbers. Have a go and upload it onto Seesaw. Well done everyone who worked really hard in today's lesson. Join me tomorrow where we'll be solving a variety of reasoning and problem solving questions in a variety of different contexts. Thank you so much for your hard work and I look forward to seeing it all on Seesaw. Well done.